Among the bills already headed to the governor for his signature is that big tax bill. That includes checks for many of you. Today, the state's Department of Revenue told me they're ready to hit the ground running as soon as that bill gets signed, and they expect the payments that go to you to start in early fall. Reminder of what those are: $260 per person who makes under $75,000 and $520 for couples making under $150,000. These are based on your 2021 tax return. The same rules will apply for the child tax credit. That's an additional $260 per kid, but that caps out at 3 kids. Those checks are just one small part of a bigger tax change. Many changes, actually, that are coming our way. And Kent had the unenviable task of trying to explain all of that to you. Hi, Kent.
Yeah, not the easiest thing, Jana. Minnesota Democrats are saying they have passed the largest tax cut bill in state history, but state Republicans are also criticizing them for passing a transportation bill that included a couple $2 billion in tax and fee increases over the next few years. An expert tracking all of this told me today that both of those things are true.
If you're having a hard time understanding how all of the coming changes to state taxes and services will affect you, it depends on who you are.
Family of 4 is getting a $1,000 check back. We're going to see 80% of people receive no Social Security tax.
Life is going to become more expensive for you going forward.
This is very targeted tax relief. So you have a stronger sort of division of winners and non-winners.
Mark Haveman is the executive director of the nonpartisan Minnesota Center for Fiscal Excellence.
I would describe it as the biggest fiscal transformation in state history with respect to both the scope of what's being proposed, the scale of what we're doing, and arguably some risk as well in terms of what we're trying to accomplish.
That's because he says the state's relying more than ever on income tax increases for the wealthiest Minnesotans and companies to fund programs and tax cuts and rebates that will mainly impact seniors and those with lower incomes. That includes a Social Security tax exemption for seniors who make up to $100,000 as a couple or $78,000 as a single filer, and a new child tax credit that won't apply to a family of 4 if they make more than $67,000 combined. According to the Census Bureau, the median income for a family of 4 in Minnesota is nearly twice that.
They have made it clear that their purpose is to reduce childhood poverty, and they are working very hard to do that. But then as far as income tax relief is concerned for middle-income families, there's really nothing there.
But he says those one-time $260 rebate checks will reach most middle-income families and up to 3 of their kids. And other one-time investments are also aimed at reducing property taxes and renters' costs. But transportation costs are about to climb for almost everyone. The new transportation bill will raise the state gas tax with inflation starting in January, raise the vehicle sales tax and annual car tab fees, impose a 3/4-cent sales tax in the 7-county metro area for transit and roads, and add a 50-cent retail delivery fee on orders over $100, exempting food and clothing. And while that might sound like a whole lot when we have a huge surplus, Mark says it's not quite that easy.
Transportation is largely not funded by the state general fund, and that was one of the paradoxes of this whole session, in the sense that you have all this money, but because most of the money for transportation comes from dedicated funds, politically it's always been just a sort of a incredibly difficult road to hoe.
Now, whether Minnesotans like those increases in the transportation bill or not, Mark says it is clearly the most significant effort to boost funding for roads, bridges, and transit that we've had in a long time. It's also worth noting that Democrats believe that investment will pay off in the future thanks to those investments. They also believe the same goes for targeting so much of this tax relief on seniors and lower income families. Jana, they've talked for a long time about wanting to wipe out childhood poverty. This is a big step towards that.
Right. Said it every time and trying to close that gap quickly. But what are some of the issues that the two of you discussed that seem just a little bit uncertain, I guess I would say?
Well, Mark says a lot of it depends on looking at those long-term projections on what that corporate income tax and some of those other things will do to fund a lot of these programs. And he said, frankly, when you have something like a child tax credit in this state, once you invest in that, it's hard to go back on that. And so if we don't have the money coming down the road, that's what he's concerned about if this doesn't live up to where the projections are at.
It's a fair concern. It is obviously a risk. All right. Thanks so much, Kent. We appreciate it.